thank you for sticking around. So, we spoke about principles and values on page number 29. You have the Principles and Values Assessment Worksheet. This is your homework for tomorrow. Please mark it, page 29. The 10 different points. Assess your own performance. Is self-assessment important in Krishna consciousness? Yeah? You sure? Yeah? Okay. So, reflect and introspect. If you think you're doing fantastic, give yourself an 8. Always leave some room for improvement. If you think, so-so, you get a 5. And if you're not doing so well, maybe a little less than that. Do you understand the homework? Yes. Go through these 10 principles and values and see how well am I doing with these points. This is important because otherwise how do we know whether we're actually progressing, whether we're actually going somewhere? And yeah, if you're honest about it, you may say, yeah, honestly, I may have a problem with honesty sometimes. It does happen that sometimes, yeah, I may not be that honest. And that's an honest statement. And it's something that gives you some ground to work on, to improve upon. Yes?
Just on base of scanning, what is the minimum time one should spend on full time, just to use to spend on radio study?
The minimum time, I'd say an hour is really minimum. If you do an hour a day, you can just survive, If you're doing 2 hours, you're actually building strength. You're actually building momentum. Like they say in sports, if you go to the gym twice a week, you just kind of 2 or 3 times you're just maintaining. If you actually want to improve yourself, you got to go 5 times. Those are professionals, they go every day. Every day. So, we want to be professionals in Krishna consciousness, right? Who here wants to be a professional, a pro in Krishna consciousness? Okay, so that means you got to do this every day. When was the last time you actually sat down, you looked at the clock, and you read for an hour straight? You put your phone in silent mode or flight mode, and you just read for an hour. Come hell or high water. Nothing could distract you. When was the last time you did that? Hello? Anybody home? Anybody out there?
Yesterday.
When was the last time you did that?
Yesterday.
Can you please do that? And I know the mind says, I got a mind too. I know those sounds. I have a very simple answer for you. You take your alarm and you put it 1 hour earlier. Okay? So instead of getting up at, 4:10, and, which means you basically just make it for the conch, if you're fast. You put your clock at, at the spectacular hour of 3 o'clock. And there is your extra hour. 1 hour. Nobody's going to call you because they're all asleep. Nobody's going to disturb you. No static. Everything is clear and brisk and lucid. Have you ever done that? You get up early and you just, after you take a shower, you just read for an hour. How did it make you feel? It's like, wow. It's like after a day's fast, at the Abhishek, you go and you take that bucket of Charanamrita, and you just go like, right? Like, I want more of this stuff. This is good stuff, right? This is how we should feel. This should not stop. A little secret, since we're, in the inner circle here. When I used to do book distribution in Switzerland with my older brother, Harinamananda, weekends were quite intense because we had a lot of duties, we had to take care of all the different groups. So on Monday, usually, we just went out together, locked the van, stayed in, and just read. Just read and shared our hearts deeply and discussed Krishna Katha. And that's all we did. We called it Blue Monday. And it was really good, because it really helped us to go deep in our study of Prabhupada's books, and also to fortify our friendship and our relationship. And that's really meaningful, that's really important. Otherwise, one day you wake up and your gas tank is empty, and your car is sitting at the side of the road, and your carburetor is bust, and you don't know who to call, because you don't have anyone who would come and help you. And then you're like, what the heck am I doing? Where's my life going? So please, do yourself a favor. Invest in your sadhana on a daily basis. It's not if, but, or when. It's start today. Okay? We want you to survive in Krishna consciousness and be happy and blissful for a whole life of Krishna consciousness. A day without reading is a day wasted. Don't waste days, weeks, months. Time goes fast. And we should not waste any time, because time is precious. Time is Krishna. So use it wisely and do yourself a favor. Read Prabhupada's books. So the question is, how long should we read? As long as possible. But minimum an hour or two. Okay? Can you do that? That was very convincing. Very compelling answer.
Yes.
Yes. Once upon a day, I was also like you, very passionate and anxious in life. And I was very driven, ambitious. I wanted to become the best. I wanted to become number one at this. So, it took me 7 years by Krishna's mercy. But still we were reading. Every day we were reading. Even in the heaviest marathons, when we went out for 12 hours solid to distribute Prabhupada's books, at least a few shlokas I would read before going out. You have to read. It just doesn't work any other way. Okay? So please, do it. Because I would like to see you here next year, and the year after that, and 10 years after that. Now you might ask yourself, just as a little prelude, we asked, why? That's another homework for those of you who came late. Why do you want to distribute Prabhupada's books? To me, it's very simple. Everybody needs their therapy in this day and age. You know, we all have our issues, we all have our problems in life. To me, book distribution is what keeps me sane. If I go out and I can associate with Krishna by sharing his message with others, I feel useful, I feel valued, I feel validated, I feel appreciated, I feel empowered, I feel loved, I feel carried in Krishna's palm. I want to cherish that feeling every day of my life. It's a gift, it's a blessing, it's a true miracle. So don't take it lightly. Don't think, oh, you know, book distribution. Why bother? What is it? You know why Krishna gives bhakti so rarely? You've been in Puri, right? You've seen people with tremendous skills and tremendous devotion and dedication. Why does Krishna give devotion so rarely? There's so many scholars all over the world. There's so many austere people in all the religious traditions. Why does Krishna give bhakti so rarely? Any idea?
Because he's purchased.
Because
He's purchased.
he's purchased by the love of his devotees. He becomes a debtor. Whenever the devotee calls upon him, Krishna has to appear. Krishna is there when you go on Sankirtan. Gauritai are out there. They're waiting for us. Don't make them wait. So, if you ask me, why am I doing it? It's my therapy. And my therapist said I should do so. And nowadays, nobody argues with your therapist, okay? Am I right or am I right? Anything you do, people may question and argue, but if you tell them, you know, my therapist told me I should do this, it's good for me. Then they say, okay, it's all right. Keep on doing it, you know? Another reason is that I'm here today because my mentors have heavily invested in me. They have shown me a lot of mercy, a lot of kindness, a lot of affection. They have given me the time of the day. And as a simple token of gratitude and reciprocation, I'm trying to pay it forward, to extend myself a little bit to the people that I meet every day. And that's also one of the reasons why we're having these seminars. We have done these a few times in a few places, but we're exhilarated to do it over and over again, to meet another person, another student, or another person on the street. Yeah, we've given out a few Bhagavad Gitas, just a few. But why are we so excited to speak about this? Because whenever the devotee tries to speak about Krishna and glorify Krishna, Krishna becomes present in the words of his devotee. And that's like when the curtains open. You know when the curtains open and the lights go on? And you go like, wow, okay, ooh, I get it now. Not just because Radhamadava is big, you know, and beautiful. But you have this moment of like revelation. Pratyaksha Bhagavandaryam Susukam Kartumagayam. Pratyaksha, you have actual experience of Krishna. And it is tasteful and it is ever increasing. Anandam Bhunivardhanam. So that's why I do Bhakti Subhushan. And that's why I do these seminars. And because I've had experiences with people who were so generous, so kind, so compassionate, and so patient with me, that even if I would work for hundreds of lifetimes, I could not come close to 1% of what they have given me. So, there's a lot of beauty and a lot of love in this Krishna consciousness movement, but one simple axiomatic truth that I've learned very early on in my life is that the more you give, the more you get. Because how much can you hold on to? I asked the devotees, how do you make the most rapid advancement? They said, you go on Sankirtan. You become a giver. So I was a young kid, 15 years old, okay, all right, how do we do that? They said, okay, pick up these flyers, these invitations, and go out and distribute them to the people. So I just went out, and I learned how to become an irresistible flyer distributor. How to give people flyers, whichever way, you know, it took to get them to take the flyer. And then we worked with cookies, we worked with halwa, we worked with lassi, and then we started with books. And because Krishna is all attractive, if you team up with Krishna, you can become irresistible. How about that? Now some people may not like your tapping, but if you team up with Krishna, people will become exhilarated. And they will start dancing, you know. Keep on tapping, you know. And they start singing, you know. And they completely forget themselves. You will meet people who come running down the street. You stop them, you talk to them, and they run back the same way they came from. I have people, they drive to the mall, they stop their car, you give them a book, and they drive away. And you're like, why did that guy come to the mall? What's it? You will get your own experience. And this is the stuff you can run off. This is the stuff that you can go on for a lifetime. Yeah, when it rains, when it snows, when it's, you know, when it's a little tough, when it's a little hot, a little humid. Just remember the mercy you have received from your Gurudev. Each and every one of you. We're here today because somebody loves us. Do you believe that? Well, I hope you called your mom, you know, last year or last month and told her that, you know. If you don't believe it, just feel here on the top of your head. We're here because some sadhu is dripping some nectar on your head. You can feel that little dent, that little hole that's there on your skull. Right up there. Can you feel it? No? It's there. You just keep on looking. Okay? So, some sadhu is dripping nectar on your head, and that's why you're sitting here today. Otherwise you would not be here. Because somebody is dripping nectar on your head. That's why you're here today. So if you want to attract Krishna's mercy, if you want to attract Guru's attention, don't jump up and down in front of them. Don't show them your phone. Have you ever wondered why so many people show Krishna their phone in the morning? You know, the curtain opens and everybody shows Krishna their phone. Hey, I got a phone too. You know, look here, I got a phone. You know, I don't get it. You get it? Do you understand why they do that? I don't get it. Krishna's there. Why do you have to pull your phone out? You know, you get a moment, pratyaksha. You got a moment of connection, and you take out some electronics.
Pictures.
Well, why do you need a picture? You just have Krishna in your heart.
We have to send them to.
Don't jump up and down. Lock Krishna and Guru in your heart. They will never be able to escape from your heart. All these electronics will be wiped away. Everything will be gone. Your vision will be gone. The only thing that remains is the impressions in your heart. It's the only thing that remains. And if we don't have that, we have nothing.
We send it to the body, they cannot come over here.
That's okay. Let them go online. They see it much better there. There's cameras everywhere. Don't get distracted. Stay on target. As a Sankirtan devotee, you have to learn how to be focused, how to stay on target. Tomorrow we're going to get into the topic how to actually have impact. You know impact? You want to have impact. You do martial arts, right? You want to have impact. Impact means you have to access one particular specific point. You cannot go like this. You won't have impact. It has to be on one specific point. So you have to be ekeha kurunandana. You have to be focused. And that focus comes from intensive study and intensive japa. By the clarity of your japa, you will be able to penetrate the coverings of false ego, the coverings of confusion, madness, lust, anger, greed, and illusion, and go straight to the heart of that person and wake that person up. With Krishna's message, that's Krishna's potency. It's possible. But this gift should never be taken lightly. That's why when the gurus used to teach their disciples, they would always make sure that they would not misuse this art, so they would not cause damage to themselves or to others. So whatever you're going to learn in this course, if you agree to use it for the benefit of others, it will be very useful. But if you want to use it to exploit others, to dominate others, to belittle others, to crush others, it will turn against you. You know what happens when you offend devotees? The holy name will punish you. How will the holy name punish you? You lose all taste and appreciation. And it becomes like a big bubble gum, you know? Like bubble gum with sand. And you're trying to chew on that. You think like, why should I chant? I cannot chant. How is it possible to chant? Because my heart is heavy, because I don't have good relations with the Vaishnavas. So it's imperative that we're mindful of these things so we do not fall into these traps and get into these dead ends where we become obstructed in our spiritual progress. Because we have seen people stopping chanting. We have seen people stopping their studies. We've seen people stop devotional service. So, these are foundational topics. I'd like to focus on inspirational topics. And the greatest inspiration for me personally is Prabhupada's books. I came because of Prabhupada's books. I remain because of Prabhupada's books. They're my life. They're my sustenance. They're my purpose. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to read from Prabhupada's books. We got a full set of books over there. And you can, Alex and his friend there, you can distribute these books so everybody gets a book. And what we're going to do now is we're going to read for 10 minutes without distractions, without any phones or other types. You just open the book anywhere and you just read for 10 minutes. And then we're going to share on your table what you read. Okay? Those of you who have electronic books and you prefer to read electronic, you can read in your electronic version also. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, choose any section or at random. And it's 5:30 now. Till 5:40 for 10 minutes. We're just going to read. And then we'll share. Who didn't get a book yet? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Who didn't get a book yet? Do you have your phone? Okay.
Yeah, one more book.
There's one more?
Just took a book.
Okay. You got the books. All right, 10 minutes. Mauna Brata. No discussions, just reading. Share the essence of what they read. Thank you.
I was reading about Krishna taking birth and talking to Devaki and Vasudeva, telling them of the previous births that he took from them when they couldn't remember those lifetimes. This is Vamanadeva and I can't pronounce the other one. Yeah, that was the essence.
Which book was he reading?
Krishna.
10th Canto Part 1, or Krishna book. Yes, same. One of the two. Thank you. Okay, who else likes to share? Behind you? Oh, you got a mic already. Okay, go for it.
I was reading about the pastime of Gopastami, when Krishna gets to the age of being able to take the cows out into the forest, and about how as he and Balaram walk into the forest, how the atmosphere in the forest, how it turns into spring, and the trees offer their worship, and the animals are making beautiful sounds for their pleasure, and the trees bow down with the fruit that they carry, and it's like they're actually offering their worship to Krishna in this way, and he gives this to Balaram and says that look how they're bowing down to you, and it was very sweet.
That's beautiful, right? Were you there? Did you just experience this, what you talked about? Or was your mind busy somewhere else? What was she talking about? Gopastami? Was it Gopastami?
It
started there, yeah. Pretty nice, huh? Yeah. Go ahead.
I read from CC until Lila, and the past time that I happened to open was when Lord Chaitanya tasted Krishna's remnants, and he was so overwhelmed, saying that we've tasted these things before, black pepper, cardamom, and other spices like that, but when it's remnants, it's from the spiritual world. And then he spoke on some verses that from the Govinda Lilamrita, where the flute sort of makes fun of the gopis, saying that they become bewildered when they hear his sound. And that Brahma was, and then he goes back and Brahma talks, and Lord Chaitanya talks about how difficult it is for Brahma to even get remnants. And it made me think that the devotees were so fortunate to get remnants directly.
You're very fortunate, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Someone else? Where's the mic here? Okay. You got one here, you go back and forth. You go all the time in the world.
The beginning of the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Transcendental Knowledge, where Krishna explains to Arjuna how the knowledge came by his sacred cessation through Sun God, and how, and then Arjuna asked for text number 4, and in fact, how can I know that it's actually you, Krishna? And Krishna answers that I remember all my birth, and you don't remember any of them.
Remember only birth and not get bewildered by it?
Yeah.
And not get embarrassed by it? It's only Krishna who can do that.
Yeah, he remembers not only his birth but all his incarnations as well.
Nice. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I was reading from Krishna rescued his teacher's son. It started where
So he's pointing that way. Up. Turn it up for a minute.
Could be on.
It's mine. Okay, carry on.
Okay, Hare. Okay, I was saying I read from where Krishna was rescuing the son of his teacher. It started from where he, after killing cancer, he met his parents. He was meeting with his parents. That is Devaki and Vasudeva. He restored Vasudeva back to the throne, and he was like going to show his universal form, but then he used Yoga Maya just because he wanted to enjoy Child and Parents Association. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you. Yes. You got the mic. You better speak up.
Reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Brahmananda Roy, just the beginning part, and it's really ecstatic. He's saying how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started, he continued his tour out of great loving ecstasy, not even knowing what direction he was going. So he just started singing and dancing, and eventually made it, I think it was to the River Junota. Anyway, he meets Brahmananda Roy, and Brahmananda Roy sees him, and he pays his obeisances, and then they embrace, and they both go unconscious and fall to the ground, because it was explained that Brahmananda Roy is an incarnation of the Gopi Vishaka, so, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, so there's a natural affection between them, and that's all I got to, but it's ecstatic.
Thank you for sharing. Mother Govinda behind you, and then in between.
I was reading from the 3rd and 9th chapter, the Brahma's prayers. So I just got to read one or two verses. There's one verse of Brahma says that you cannot be known by any other means apart from penance. He says that how people are foolish in this world that they are trying to speculate about you in different ways. Prabhupada writes in the purport saying that the highest peak of ignorance is to think that there is some other cause other than the supreme cause for everything in this world. So I was appreciating that. And then the next verse he says about how you are beyond the 3 modes of material nature and how they form, which I am seeing is without the contamination of these modes. Yeah, that's all I can.
Thank you. Right in front of you.
I was reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. So, pastimes of Gundija Marjan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Gundija Marjan himself. He was cleansing the temple and inside Astihasa and all area he was cleaning. So devotees also joined him and they also started cleaning the temple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very meticulously inside the temple, Garbhagriha also he cleaned with his own clothes used and seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu devotees also very they are cleaning. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bringing all the dust, straws and small particles he is collecting in his own cloth and throwing outside and making it pile. So seeing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu devotees also started collecting the straws and dust and they are also collecting. So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu make the big pile of the dust outside. So compared to the other devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's the pile of dust was very high. So then devotees started bringing water in the pots from the lake, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the hundreds of devotees are bringing water in the pots from the lake because there are hundreds of devotees. there is no space for bringing the water. The other devotees also started bringing water from the well. So while bringing the water, the pots are started breaking. So there are other devotees who are engaging, bringing new pots. So some devotees, while bringing the water, they are washing the feet of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and some devotees secretly drinking that water. So in that way, in a sense, all the devotees thoroughly cleanse the temple, and it is mentioned that while cleaning all the temple is cleansed, the devotees' minds are also similarly cleansed with that cleansing process.
Thank you. Right behind you.
I was reading Ali Lila, chapter, I think 16, it is the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And there is the first verse, very nice, that says, even most difficult things, if you remember Lord Chaitanya, you can do it, but if even most easy things, if you don't remember Lord Chaitanya, you cannot do nothing. And then they explaining Chaitanya pastimes, like when he was a small child, they saw the marks on his feet, and then mother, father was surprised, and as well one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was crying, and they remember the ladies coming, and when they chant Hare Krishna, Chaitanya suddenly smiled. And also one time they just explained in one verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took food from the Brahmana 3 times, and there is Prabhupada says the explanation is more in Chaitanya Bhagavata. And other stories as well, that the thieves, they took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu away, but somehow they gone away, but somehow they again came to Jagannath Mishra home. And last pastimes I remember the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was eating the dirt, and mother was afraid and says, why are you eating the dirt? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like philosophers answer, doesn't matter, dirt or sweet is the same earth. Somehow mother convinced him that no, it is very important to understand that if you eat dirt, you destroy your body, but if you eat sweets, you become alive. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, all right, from now I will drink only your milk.
Thank you so much. Wonderful pastimes of the Lord, all recounted in these pages. Is this working? A little bit. So, did you like this exercise?
Yes.
Did you get something out of it?
Yes.
Okay, please do it every day. And I know the mind says, we don't have time for this, we're too busy, we've read this before. But this is why we're here for, Krishna Katha, to absorb ourselves in Krishna's pastimes. If you cannot figure out how to get up early, it's a very simple trick. Just go to bed early. And naturally, you will get up early. It just comes natural. So, and after a while, you become so anxious to hear about Krishna that you do not want to miss any moment. That's why Shakatari is always carrying a big stack of books to distribute and to read, right? Because in this way, always books are there. You're never separated from Krishna's pastime. I really like that when you mentioned that when you remember Lord Chaitanya, what happens? Difficult things become easy. And if we forget about the Lord, then easy things become difficult. I was just talking to one student and saying sometimes you can't even put a straight tilak. Has it ever happened to you? Sometimes you try 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, and you're like, no, this is terrible. Like, it looks like something else. I cannot go out like this, you know. But it just wouldn't work, right? How difficult is it to put tilak? Do you need a degree, a diploma? Do you need to study for that? It's not really rocket science, right? But sometimes it just doesn't work. And sometimes impossible things become quite easy. Have you had experience like that? You've been faced with an insurmountable obstacle. You've been faced with a scenario that you could not deal with on your own. And somehow, just by remembering Lord Chaitanya and by being dependent on His mercy, the mountain moved. It is for this reason and this reason, not only, but this is one of the reasons why we go on Bhakti Siddhashu, because we like to see the Lord's energy, His potency, interact and perform these seemingly miraculous events. The mountain of false ego is seemingly impenetrable. People are fortified by all their different defense mechanisms. But Krishna Katha can penetrate and it can actually access people's hearts. But we cannot have impact on people's hearts if we do not allow Krishna to have impact on our own heart. Because you can only give what you have. So please, read Prabhupada's books every day. Absorb yourself deeply. Don't cheat yourself of this great opportunity. Otherwise, just going through the ritual, going through the motions, going through the years and decades, and still feeling void, empty, confused, lost, insecure. It can happen. It has happened to many of us. So, Prabhupada's books are available. Avail yourself of this greatest gift. And don't take any excuse. Don't take no for an answer. Some people may say, oh, I'm just not the reading type. I'm just not the book type. Have you ever heard that? Huh? Have you ever thought like that yourself? Like, hey, I'm not an intellectual, right? I'm a ... You fill in the blanks, right? But it's just a lame excuse. Because everybody's looking for knowledge. Everybody's looking for information, right? Otherwise, why are people checking their devices all the time? Why are they pressing buttons? Because they want information, right? They want to learn, they want to have interaction, they want to have relationships. They want to gain joy, happiness, pleasure from those relationships. Yes?
Prabhu,
There's microphone. Whatever we speak.
Hare Krishna. About this point,
yes,
I have my particular experience that we have discussed. No, tomorrow I will start, and I write tomorrow. Another day. No, tomorrow I will start. And I write another day. I think no. Tomorrow sure I will start to read.
And tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
Because mañana, you're a mañana Baba. Next lifetime Baba. What do people tell you? Yes, when I'm old, then I will come to temple. Right? When I'm old. What is the definition of old?
when you're gonna die.
That you can die at any moment. Raise a hand here. Who is old? Who can die at any moment? Have you ever taken the road from Kolkata to Mayapur? Have you had your experiences of near-death die at any moment? It's real. It's real. And it may be very unspectacular. You slip in the shower, or people go to bed and they just don't get up. One little wire gets disconnected, and the whole machine, the lights go out. Oh, why is it so warm here? Why is it so dark here? Where am I? Now the soul is eternal, we're going to move on. But this body, this body is temporary and it will not last. If you know this one thing, you know more than 99.99% of the planet. I was 15 years old in 9th grade. I was presenting to a class of 9th graders who are about to decide what they're going to become in life. A simple presentation on Krishna consciousness, because I was about to join the ashram. And I wanted to give him a chance to appreciate what I was about to do. And after about 5 or 10 minutes into my presentation, I realized by the looks on their faces, what you talking about? So I went like, okay, let's backtrack and get to basics. Okay, what is the mind? What is the soul? You are not your body. Point to yourself. No, that's your head. No, that's your arm. No, that's your chest. Who are you? Simple things. Use these simple analogies. You know the chariot analogy? You ever do that? You pick up the book. We're going to get into this from tomorrow onwards. You pick up the book and you show one picture. And I hope this picture is in the book. If not, I need a different Bhagavad Gita. Exactly. They keep on changing the pictures around. Anyway, take this one here. Changing bodies. Pretty cool picture, right? You like this picture? I like this picture a lot. This picture has confirmed. You told them to call right at this point. It's confirmed. So, you ask them, where are you on this picture? My dear sir, where are you on this picture? Please show me. Yeah, no, I think you're still here. You know. Okay, you want this book? Of course he wants this book. Why? Because his picture is in the book. Got it? It's as simple as that. Sold. Finished. You have to make that connection. Sambandha abhideya prayojana. Without relationship, without connection, there is no meaning. There is no importance. People will just walk away. But if you tell them, I'm Naveen, you are? Nanda. Okay, mucho gusto, encantado. Huh? There is a connection. He already likes me. He already smiles. He's finished. He cannot just walk away. If a person smiles 3 times, you get him to laugh, they cannot walk away. It's done deal. They have to take the book. But if we're insecure, if we're somehow confused, and we're afraid to make that connection, if our levels of defense are still out because we're afraid, we're fearful, we're thinking, oh, it's a bad world, everyone's out to get me, and we don't have faith in Krishna, Krishna will protect us, then people will simply interact with our false ego. It will simply be false ego against false ego. We'll never actually connect soul to soul. You can live in a relationship, you can live in a family, you can call it friends, you can call it husband and wives, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's simply false egos interacting with each other. There's no heart-to-heart relationship. Unless people lower their false ego, they lower their material expectations, and they actually realize, hey, we're servants of Krishna. We're here to experience Krishna's mercy. And that's only possible through the process of Harinam Sankirtan. That's why we're here. That's what we're trying to learn. This is an art. It is called the school of life. You can write that down. Sankirtan is the school of life. Whatever you would like to learn in life, you can learn it on Sankirtan. Am I right or am I right?
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay. The man has spoken. Okay, you can go now. You said your piece, it's okay. It's done. No. And he knows from experience, because he has paid the price of sacrifice. And he has experienced it. That moment of truth, when you can touch a person's core of their heart, and you see Krishna doing the magic, that moment is precious. That moment is real. And everything else is a figment of your imagination. And we need those real moments. Yes? Mike?
For me, Sankirtan is the best therapy, because when I have
It's funny because we just spoke about therapy before you came in.
No, I have this experience when I was very, very sad. I traveled all Latin America, and after that I forgot everything.
You what?
I forgot everything. All the problem, everything in my life is changed.
Far out. Thank you. So Sankirtan is the school of life. You may say, oh, you know, I didn't go much to school, or I didn't pay much attention, or I'm really not that interested. But if you want to become successful in life, Sankirtan, this process of book distribution will empower you, will enable you to get actually a very profound, a very deep experience, and you will learn how to become successful in life. And that is not an exaggeration. That is actually a reality. So we're going to close up today's day by hearing from Prabhupada what he is going to tell us. And we hope things are working out here. You can leave the two in the back. That's okay. Any questions or comments? Yes.
The questions for tomorrow. homework. Seems like a day of life for people that has been selling books. But I haven't.
You never distributed one book?
30 years ago.
That counts. You can apply it to different forms of devotional service. Thank you. And see you around town. So, your homework for tomorrow, fill out the Principles and Values Assessment worksheet. Write down the reasons why you want to distribute Prabhupada's books. And read the 7 purposes of ISKCON and meditate upon how they apply to you, to your life, and how you can fulfill them. Thank you for your kind participation. We look forward in seeing you back here tomorrow at 10:29. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.